Welcome to our channel. Today's story is not just a story. It is a reminder. Nothing is impossible when you do not give up. Nothing is impossible when your dream is stronger than your fear. This is the story of a boy. He was not rich. He was not famous. He had no support. He had only one thing: a dream. This is the story of a boy who went from night security guard to software engineer. This story will touch your heart. It will change the way you think about your own life. My name is Liam. I was born in a small, dusty town. In this town, people did not dream big. They only tried to survive. The streets were loud. The houses were small. And the sky felt far away. I grew up in a normal family. Not rich. Not very poor. But always worried about money. My father was a mechanic. He worked 12 hours every day. His hands were always dirty with oil. He was always tired. He did not complain. My mother did everything. She woke up early. She made food. She paid bills. She tried to make us smile, even when she was tired. We lived in a small rented house. One room, one old fan, one broken tap. But inside me, there was a big dream. Every evening, I stood near the window. I watched cars pass by. Big cars. Shiny cars. People inside were smiling. Music was playing. They looked happy. I was not angry. I was not jealous. I only asked myself one question. How do people get this life? Other kids played outside. I walked 3 kilometers to a small internet cafe. I did not play games. I watched computer screens. I saw code. I saw people creating things on computers. That was the first time I heard the words software engineer. It sounded like magic. People who build things with their minds. From that moment, I had a dream. I wanted to become a software engineer. But I had no computer. No internet at home. My English was bad. I did not know anyone in technology. Still, I believed. One night, I heard my parents talking quietly. They said we had no money for college. They said I should find a job. I did not cry, but my heart felt heavy. At 17, I made a hard choice. I stopped chasing my dream for a while. I became a security guard. Every night at 9 p.m., I stood in front of a tall glass building. Inside, people worked on computers. Outside, I stood in the cold. I wore a simple uniform. I held a wooden stick. But every night, I told myself, this is not the end. This is only the beginning. While the city slept, I stayed awake. Not only to guard the building, but to watch, to learn. The building was full of software engineers. They walked past me with laptops and ID cards. Some said hello. Some did not see me at all. They did not know me. But I knew who I wanted to become. I had a small old smartphone. The battery was weak. It was slow. But it had YouTube. During my breaks, I watched videos. What is coding? How to become a software engineer. HTML for beginners. Sometimes the video stopped. Sometimes I did not understand. But I never stopped watching. Because every video felt like hope. At night, I downloaded free coding books on my phone. I used mobile data because I had no Wi-Fi. In the morning, after my night shift, I read them by candlelight. I slept only 4 hours a day. My eyes hurt. My head felt heavy. But my dream was still alive. Inside my mind, a voice whispered, Liam, if you stop now, you will regret it forever. People laughed at me. My relatives said, he is just a security guard. He should accept his life. My friends said, you are not smart enough for software. One night, even my father spoke. He looked tired. He said, son, some people are born to dream. Others are born to survive. We need money. We don't have time for dreams. I did not fight back. I only nodded. But inside, I made a promise. One day, I will prove that life is more than survival. One night, everything felt too heavy. I had not slept for 2 days. I could not understand the code. I was hungry. I was tired. I was alone. I stood under the office light with my stick. And I cried quietly. Tears fell on my uniform. I felt small. I felt weak. I whispered, is this really impossible for someone like me? At 2:45 a.m., a man came out of the building. He was young. He looked confident. He saw me sitting with a notebook. He stopped and asked, what are you doing? I looked up and said, I am trying to learn coding. He paused. Then he smiled. That is brave, he said. That is really brave. He did not laugh. He did not walk away. That moment changed everything. I understood something important. I was not crazy. I was just early. From that day, my strength came back. I studied more. I worked harder. I stopped listening to negative words. I stopped waiting for help. I became my own teacher, my own coach, my own support. Because I learned one truth. Nothing is impossible. But at first, everything feels lonely. My life became very hard. Night work. Study during the day. No college. No mentor. No one to talk to. I was fighting a battle that no one could see. After many months, I decided to build something. A simple website. Only HTML and CSS. I worked on it for 2 weeks. Sometimes I did not sleep at all. Finally, I clicked Run. The screen went white. Error. Everything was gone. One small mistake. One missing line of code. 2 weeks of work disappeared. That night, I did not go home. I sat on the stairs of the building. My head was down. My heart felt empty. I thought, maybe they are right. Maybe this life is not for me. A week later, my father gave me an envelope. Inside was a paper from a factory. They were hiring workers. $200 a month. No night shifts. He said, maybe this is better for you. I was not angry. I understood him. He was not killing my dream. He was trying to protect the family. That night, I went to my room. One thought stayed in my mind. If I quit now, I will regret this forever. I did not make a speech. I did not complain. I opened my laptop again. I rewrote the code. Slowly, carefully. I tested every part. This time, the website worked. It was simple. It was ugly. But it worked. For me, it was my Mercedes. Now I had proof. So I made a brave choice. I started sending job applications. Internships. Junior roles. No degree. No certificate. No connections. I sent applications to more than 80 companies. The result? 79 rejections. Some said nothing. Some said no. But one company replied. They wrote, your path is different. Let's talk. That one reply was my door. Not the final place. Just the next step. I prepared for 7 days. Day and night. I practiced speaking in front of a mirror. I watched interview videos. I wrote answers in a notebook. I repeated them again and again. When the interview day came, I wore my guard uniform. I did not own a formal shirt. The interviewer looked at me and asked, tell me about yourself. I did not try to sound perfect. I told the truth. I work as a security guard. But every night, I study coding. Because I want a different life. The room was quiet. After a few seconds, he said, you are not what we expected, but you are what we need. They offered me an internship. It was unpaid, but it was the first time I entered a tech office. Not as a guard, as a learner. I was still poor, still tired, still scared. But now I had a chair, a desk, a laptop, and the dream was finally real. For the first time, I was not watching life. I was inside it. I remember my first day clearly. I entered through the main door, not the guard gate. No uniform, no stick, just a cheap shirt, and a strong heart. People who once walked past me now sat next to me. In meetings, at desks. But it was not easy. Dreams are not soft. They are sharp. Every day, I fought fear. Fear of failure. Fear of my English. Fear of my past. My teammates had degrees. They learned fast. I learned slowly. During lunch breaks, I searched words online, so I would not look foolish. One day, someone asked, which college did you study at? I paused and said, I didn't. I was a night security guard. The room went quiet. Some looked surprised. Some respected it. One person just nodded. That day, I learned something important. The door can open, but you must earn your place inside. That night, I did not rest. I studied again. I watched harder lessons. I read documents again. I stopped comparing myself. I started focusing. 3 months later, my manager gave me a task. To fix a bug. It was difficult. Others had failed. He said, try if you want. I took the code home. I studied for 2 days. I failed. I tried again. I cried. I tried again. And finally, it worked. The manager smiled. He sent my work to the boss. That night, I looked at the sky and whispered, I told you, I will not stay outside forever. A few weeks later, my internship became paid. $300 a month. It was not much. But when I saw the money, I cried. Because it was proof. Proof that my pain mattered. My nights mattered. My dream mattered. I went home. Same house. Same problems. But something was different. My father looked at me and said, you look stronger. I gave him my first paycheck. His hands were shaking. He said, I thought your dream was too big. But maybe I was just too tired to believe. There was no party. No celebration. But inside me, the war was over. I was no longer the boy outside the building. I was part of the future. Many years have passed. The security guard uniform that once held my pain is now folded in my cupboard. I do not wear it anymore. but I never forget it. Today, I sit at a desk, not as a guard, but as a full-time software engineer. Not in a small company, not in a short job. I work in a top company. My code is used by millions of people. I help build products for the world. I lead small teams. I teach interns. Some of them remind me of myself. I travel with a laptop in my bag. I walk with confidence. When I look in the mirror, I do not see a genius. I see a fighter. Sometimes, I visit the old building I once guarded. I stand at the gate where I used to stand. I see a new guard. Quiet. Tired. Almost invisible. I smile at him. Because I know something. Inside that uniform, there may be a dream. Small. Quiet. But alive. One night, while working late, my phone rang. It was my father. His voice was soft. He said, "Today I showed your photo to everyone at work. I told them, this is my son. He is a software engineer." Then he said something I will never forget. "You made me proud. And you made me believe again." I could not speak. I just cried. Because my dream did more than save me. It healed my family. Later, I started writing my story. Not to be famous, but to leave hope for others. I called it The Boy Who Stood Outside. Because that was me. A boy watching life through glass. Believing there must be a way in. Here is the real lesson. This story is not about money. Not about fame. Not about proving people wrong. It is about one thing. Do not let the world tell you that your dream is not yours. Talent helps. Money helps. Support helps. But the strongest power is this. A mind that does not quit. A heart that keeps trying. A soul that waits, no matter how long. My life looks different now. The boy who counted coins now earns enough to breathe. Enough to stand straight. With my first real salary, I did not buy luxury things. I bought a new fan for my parents' house. A good bed for my father. A phone for my mother. And food, without checking prices. My mother smiled without worry. That smile was worth more than any car. Years later, I bought my first car. Simple. Nothing special. But when I held the keys, my hands shook. I remembered the boy who once watched other people's cars pass by. That day, life chose me. Not because it was easy, but because I did not stop when it was hard. And then I understood the truth. Struggle changes you quietly. Success speaks loudly. You have now heard one story. A boy with nothing, who proved that nothing is impossible. But he is not alone. Neil Armstrong was told space travel was impossible. He walked on the moon. Albert Einstein was told he would fail. He changed science forever. Thomas Edison failed many times. But he brought light to the world. Great people are not special. They are just stubborn. So listen carefully. People will doubt you. They will say you are not smart enough. Too late. From the wrong place. When they say that, remember this. This is your life. Your path. Your dream. Yes, it will be hard. Yes, you will cry alone. Yes, the world may ignore you. But the world ignores you. Until it cannot ignore your results. Today may be struggle. Tomorrow can be success. Do not quit because it is slow. Do not quit because it is lonely. Keep going. Believe harder. This is not just a story. It is a reminder. Nothing is impossible. Now go and prove it.